Well, welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. Thanks so much for joining us on this Wednesday, March 15th of 2017. My name is Pete Connor. I'm your show's host, and we were going to have some good stuff again for you today. We are happy to have Jared Hendricks from Owatonna Public Utilities, who will give us an update about some things that are happening down there. And then we will go on location to the Steele County Humane Society for a program from them. And as a reminder, we would appreciate your input about what you'd like to see on Owatonna Today. Do you have someone who you think needs some recognition that is doing some good things in town, or maybe an event or a business that should have some recognition? If you do, please contact us either by emailing us at owatonnatoday@charter.net or by calling Leanne, our show's producer, at 390-5751. And now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors and then be back with Jared. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Brenda with the Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar, aligned with American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, where closings feel right from the beginning. I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and Village of Yesteryear. Check our website for current exhibits and monthly programs.
This March, as part of Minnesota Food Share Month, the Steele County Food Shelf hopes to raise $100,000 in cash or pounds of food. Minnesota Food Share contributes additional money based on our local donations. In 2016, 1,180 individuals living in Steele County registered at the food shelf. By the end of 2016, we had given out nearly 600,000 pounds of food. With your support, we are able to provide a monthly 10-day package of groceries to your neighbors in need. No one in Steele County should have to go to bed hungry. Thank you for your generous support of the Steele County Food Shelf.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. With me now is Jared Hendricks from Owatonna Public Utilities. Jared, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Pete, for having me.
Nice to have you. We're going to talk about some things regarding utilities and kind of an update, so to say. But before we get there, let's talk about you.
Sure.
Talk about your role at the utilities, where you came from, and what your background is, and so forth.
Absolutely. I am an Owatonna native, so born and raised in Owatonna, came back after college, and definitely enjoy being back in town. It's nice to see how things do change over time, and the wonderful directions we've gone as a community. I did finish my degree as a business major and got a job at the Owatonna Public Utilities. I currently do the marketing and energy conservation work out there. Most of my time is spent with our commercial and industrial customers with energy conservation programs such as rebates, looking to see how they can save energy at their facilities, different things like that. Also work with our marketing committee to put out our newsletter, different things like that, and of course events like the Owatonna Today Show, the fair and stuff.
PR stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about rebates, if Pete here wants to buy a new refrigerator and wants to put in for a rebate, is that something that comes under your purview?
Yes. So every year I work with the triad utilities, the Owatonna Public Utilities, Rochester Public Utilities, and Austin Utilities. That way we can have a better rebate portfolio without costing our community as much. And yes, we do look at that. You would apply for a rebate. You can do that by printing the form off of our website or stopping into our office to grab that form right now. Refrigerators are $25 if you buy an Energy Star refrigerator, Pete. It's a great way to save energy in your home for sure.
You know, I think we've got one, but I'm not sure I put in for the rebate. Maybe it's too late. We'll have to look at that. OPU is affiliated with, when you say Rochester and Austin, is affiliated with the Southern Minnesota Municipal Power Agency. Has been now for a number of years, but it is not to say that OPU is not locally owned. It is a locally owned utility.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are still the municipal utility. We do the electric, water, and natural gas in Owatonna. The Southern Minnesota Municipal Power Agency, or we just say SIMPA, so if you hear me say that at any point in time, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
But so everybody else does too.
Sure.
They are our wholesale power provider, so that's where we purchase our electricity from. And the same is true now as it was when it was formed. They are there to help purchase power from at a much lower rate than we could either generate the power ourselves or go out on the wholesale market and buy that power off of the grid ourselves. And that holds true today just as much as it did then. Of course, you add in the regulations of how much renewable generation has to be on our portfolio, and then you add in all sorts of other complexities that SIMPA is able to handle on our behalf, and everybody else that is a SIMPA member utility as well. But we're definitely the municipal utility, local control, local voice. We have open commission meetings every month. People have a say in how their utility is run and operated, and that is wonderful. I know a number of communities that don't have that, and their community members wish they had that. It's nice to have that input and say in how things are run in your community.
I have to say too that the Southern Minnesota Municipal Public Utilities and Grand Marais is a part of it. I always wondered how that anomaly occurred.
But it works out all right.
Oh, sure.
It definitely works out all right. So.
Exactly. They came in, I guess, after the name was made. Well, tell us about what's going on down at OPU these days.
Well, it's March, but we do have hydrant flushing coming up in the springtime. This year, that'll be from April 24th through the 27th, and again, May 2nd through 4th. And if you don't have a pen and paper to write that down, that's okay. You're going to see it next month in your newsletter, your customer update. Now, of course, this is March's update. However, we do talk a little bit about fire hydrants. If you turn to the center page, you'll read a little bit more about fire hydrants here in March, and then you'll get to see some stuff going on in April. Get that hydrant flushing map like we always put out and stuff. In fact, this year we're going to have another form of map. If you go to our website this year, and we're working on getting that up right now, you'll actually be able to look and find out on the website using geolocation from your phone where you're at in town and what part of, or when that part of the community is going to be flushed. So instead of having to go find your street on the paper map, you can just pull up the website on your phone. You can take a look. Another neat feature with that one, we're going to actually put in the location of all of our fire hydrants in town, which is a great thing. We had that snowstorm on Monday. It's nice to know where the hydrant is to make sure that you shovel the snow away from your hydrant. That's definitely a great thing to do. It's a safety thing in case there was the unfortunate worst case scenario if there was a fire in the neighborhood. It's also nice to know where they're at all times of the year, even when there isn't snow, so that you're aware of that.
And speaking of the website, it's also an opportunity to see what your bill is going to be like. If you see the paper bill, you can also find your bill and your usage on the website.
Yes. Yep. If you go to our website, you can log into our billing website. From there, you can see your bill. You can pay your bill online. We still take payments in the office, but you can pay it online, over the phone. Automatic payments coming from a checking account or a Visa or MasterCard. Great options. A lot of people like to do those automatic payments. Online payments are another great way to go as well, of course.
Let's go back to fire hydrants. Why do we do this? Why do we flush hydrants?
We get that question a lot. And everybody's like, well, why do you flush hydrants? Every time you do that, my water gets dirty. And that's part of the reason, actually, is that sediment is what's making that water look dirty. There's sediment that builds up in the bottom of the mains throughout the year. So by flushing a lot of water out at one time, we get that sediment out. That helps your water taste increase. That helps make sure that we're cleaning the pipes, maintains those pipes for a longer period of time. We get the opportunity to exercise all of the hydrants. You don't want to find out a hydrant isn't working should the fire department show up. So we get to make sure all of the hydrants are working. We can know if there's one that needs to be serviced that way. Just general water quality. It helps make sure that some of the areas that don't get enough water flow get some water flushed through there, get some nice fresh water back in there again as well.
We have Jordan Aquifer water.
Yes.
And what's the supply like, as far as you know, of Jordan Aquifer water?
That's a really good question. I don't have the answer, but I know it's definitely something that we're always looking at as a state. Water being very, very much top of mind in different areas. We have been reducing how much water we pump in Owatonna, which is great news. Being able to show that actual reduction in pumped water is another way to show that as our community is growing, we're being very water conscious. Our commercial and industrial customers are cutting back on their water consumption. Us as residential customers are cutting back on our water consumption. Education helps with that. Making sure that we're not watering our yards 2 days after it rained. We're not watering our yards when they're still wet. If you look at the ground and the soil is still moist, you don't need water. If you step on the grass and it bounces back, you don't need water yet.
95 degrees out.
If it's 95, sunny and windy, it's a terrible time to water, of course, too. So you end up putting more water on, and all of these different education pieces definitely help.
One thing that I know too is that our water is good water, basically coming out of the well. We do treat it, however.
There's a little bit of treatment done. We, of course, by regulation, do add fluoride. That level has been reduced recently, and we did talk about that in some newsletters of the past about the reduction of the fluoride levels. We do add a little bit of chlorine for taste and odor control, as well as sanitary purposes as that water sits in the mains. But definitely very, very good water coming out of there. We don't have a major water issue that requires a lot of filtering or treatment. Very little treatment that happens in Owatonna.
What other things that do you want to have our folks know?
Absolutely.
Today?
We talked about dirty water when we're flushing. One of the things we get asked is, what do I do? My water's dirty, what do I do? We recommend, if you've got dirty water, go turn the bathtub on with cold water or another cold water faucet and just kind of flush that through. Usually by the time you see that dirty water, we're done flushing in your area. Just flush that water through. It'll clean up in a little while, and then it should be just fine. It's still safe. There's nothing wrong with that water. Oftentimes people don't like the yellow ice cube, so go turn off your ice cube maker. Try to avoid washing clothes at that time, and then once you flush the system out, everything's good to go again.
Some people may say, well, that's a waste of water. Well, you kind of, it's in a way that I suppose it is, but in order to get what you want, it's the thing to do. Right,
and it might be considered to some people a waste of water, but we've reduced it to flushing 1 time a year instead of 2 times a year, and it's much less waste than if we had a number of more water main breaks throughout the year because of old and aging pipes.
Very well. One last thing I'd like to talk about is, if you can, is we now have an opportunity to have coverage with water, speaking of water, from the main to our homes if there should be a line break.
Right. So our water service line protection program, if you're a homeowner and you haven't opted out, you're already opted into this, it's a very small monthly fee, which is a great insurance against a very expensive fix should you have a leak out in your yard somewhere. And that'll cover from the main all the way up to the meter in your home. And we will help repair any leaks and do certain portions of restoration. For more information on the terms and conditions, look at our website for those. And
when we see those guys in the white, yellow, whatever trucks, give them a wave.
Definitely.
They're doing their good work for us.
Absolutely.
Good to have you here today. We know that you're doing good work for us as well. And best wishes going forward.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Pete.
Okay.
Yep, you too.
Okay. And thank you for being with us today. Why don't you stay with us? We've got some messages coming from our sponsors.
Looking for that perfect birthday party idea for your child? I have exactly what you're looking for. A pool or gym party at the West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center. Hi, this is Brad. Contact me today at 774-7102 to schedule the party every child will love. Birthday party packages are available year-round. West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center, encouraging and promoting a healthy lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Michael Mager with the Brick Mager Funeral Home and the Medford Funeral Home. At Brick Mager, we are privileged to have served the families of Steele County community for 118 years.
Whether you choose traditional burial or cremation, we promise the tribute your loved one deserves with the peace of mind that you require.
We are proud to be part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to Transitional Housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And we are here today at the Steele County Humane Society's office out in the Owatonna Area Business and Development Center. And we are here today with Michelle Quintana. Did I get it right?
You did.
Yay! And Pat Jorgensen. And ladies, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is here with the Humane Society. Michelle, we'll start with you.
My name is Michelle, and I am the office administrator for the Steele County Humane Society. So I answer the phones, do all the paperwork, try to get our stray animals into foster homes, and try to get them adopted. Also, I try to advertise our events and help coordinate and organize and promote all of them.
Okay, and how long have you been in this position,
I
Michelle?
have been here since the end of October.
Okay, and why did you take a position with the Humane Society?
Well, I really believe in the Humane Society. I appreciate helping my community and trying to better the lives of our homeless pet population.
Okay, and that's a very worthwhile cause as it is. If you want to put that microphone over by Pat there. Pat, tell us what your role is with the Humane Society.
I do foster care for the cats and usually have a house full. Right now I have 7.
Okay.
And mostly just take care, make sure they get to the pet adoption days and take care of their health, well-being, and get to vet visits and stuff.
Okay.
Been doing it for many years.
Yes, you have. How many years do you?
Well, I'm thinking it's probably about 20, somewhere in there.
Why did you decide that this was something you wanted to take on? I mean, this is a huge commitment. There goes George.
I had one cat, and I thought he was kind of lonesome, and I didn't really want to have to own another cat. And so I thought, well, there was a need for the foster home program, so I started doing that.
Okay.
And so it went from there to a full-time job almost.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. And God bless you for all you do for God's four-legged creatures. That is for sure.
I have George here who's quite vocal. He doesn't want to be here today.
Yeah, George is a little camera shy today. Maybe we might get him back up on camera. He really is a pretty boy. And if you get him back up on your lap, then we can talk a little bit more about him and his circumstances. So, Michelle, you have a couple of events coming up for the Humane Society that are, one is a fundraiser anyway. Tell us about those, please.
We do. We have some things up on our plate. Right now we have the Pancake Supper coming up, which will be March 16th from 4:30 to 7 p.m.
So that will actually be tomorrow, Thursday.
Okay. 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the Owatonna Eagles.
Okay.
We will have pancakes and a silent auction. Tickets are available for purchase here between the hours of 9 and 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at the Owatonna Vet Hospital, Owatonna Veterinary Services, and Heartland Animal Hospital.
Okay.
Tickets will be $6 in advance and $7 at the door. Children 5 and under are free.
And as we know, the Eagles Club does a marvelous job with their pancake breakfast.
I have heard that they have great pancakes.
Yes, they do. They do.
And another one of our events coming up will be Pet Adoption Day, which is this Saturday, March 18th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And that will be held at Spherion Staffing Agency, located at 120 Oakdale Street.
Okay, great. And how many animals do you currently have in your system right now, since we're talking about pet adoption days?
Right now we have 28 animals in our system. That is 24 cats looking for homes and 4 dogs looking for homes.
Okay, so, and actually, cats, you really try very hard to find homes for them. You always have a plethora of cats versus generally a handful of dogs. Why is that?
Well, cats reproduce very quickly.
True.
And a lot of people, for whatever reason, decide that they are a disposable animal and they just abandon them. Once these abandoned cats start procreating, they multiply very quickly.
Okay.
And it's very hard to get a control on the pet population when people don't spay and neuter.
Right, and if they don't want an animal, they should never, ever, ever abandon it outside.
It's a living being.
Exactly.
And a big responsibility. So please don't just abandon your pets.
Right, and call the Humane Society?
Yes, we work really closely with other rescues. Even if we're full, we do our best to try to find a safe spot for your animal.
Okay, so that's just, and we understand circumstances occur for families where they can no longer afford to or are able to care for their pets. But please do not abandon them.
Please don't.
Don't assume that if you put them at the end of somebody's driveway that person will adopt them, because they've probably had this happen many times before.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So pet adoption days. And then you have one more event?
We do. We are going to participate in the Home and Rec Show this year. It is March 24th through March 26th, held at the Four Seasons up at the fairgrounds.
Okay. And so what will you be doing there?
Education. We will also have grab bags, which will be either for cats or dogs, and they'll have a little toy, some information, pet care, and just sharing about our upcoming shelter that we are working on. We did buy land in the end of November, so now we are fundraising to get ground broke.
Get ground broke on it. Okay. Do you have any kind of a timeline on that as of yet?
Not as of yet. I believe we are still working with an architect to get our final plans drawn up, and we will keep the public informed as soon as we know more.
Okay, so you're one step closer to something that the Humane Society has wanted to do for a long, long time.
For a very long time.
And kind of get away from fostering type things so that all of the animals can be together in one building.
We do plan on still having foster homes.
Oh,
Animals
good. Okay.
do a lot better in a foster home environment as opposed to a shelter, but once we have a shelter, we will be able to help many more animals.
And many more, right. How many animals do you need to turn away?
I'd say,
idea?
We try to help as many as we can. It's kind of hard to put into a number how many we have to turn away at this point.
Sure.
I would say confidently that we are able to help more animals than we don't have room for.
You don't have room for. Okay, all right. Why don't you pass the microphone over to Pat? There you go. And Pat, tell us currently, what type of kitties do you have at your house?
Well, right now I've got George, who's being very vocal here. I've had him since last fall. He's 10 months old. I'll bring him out in just a minute.
Okay.
And I have two more, one that's 7 months old, and she's a delightful little gal, a little skittish yet. She was found outside and is adjusting to indoor. And plus I have another older black one that's there. Plus I have two of my own that I own. And so we have 7 or 5 in the house right now, and will soon probably be more. And cats don't like change. They don't like to be taken out of their familiar environment, which is why George is being very vocal here now. But he's a wonderful little cat. He went through an awful lot during his kitten stage. He almost died on us, and through a lot of work and everything, we got him back. And he's a real lovable cat. He sleeps on my head at night. He always has to be close by. If I'm on the computer, he's usually on my lap, making sure he gets all kinds of affection and stuff. So he's not being really a true self today. So, but people need to make sure that they think about what kind of a pet that they want to have, a cat versus dog, and what your lifestyle is, and how much time you have to devote to this animal. And if you don't have time to walk a dog or don't want to walk a dog, cats are wonderful. There's no going out in the middle of blizzards and snow days to walk cats on cold days. So
that's true.
Just clean the cat boxes. And, fostering is really a wonderful thing to get into. And most people say, well, I couldn't foster because I couldn't give them up. Well, you have to go into it with a frame of mind that when you find a home for that one, there are probably 2 or 3 more that need your help. So you go into it with that frame of mind, and you may certainly keep them if you find that you have fallen in love with them, but then that kind of makes it that another one can't come in that really needs help.
Right.
So we encourage fostering. We need a lot of foster homes, especially for the cats.
Especially for the cats, because now is the time when you start seeing more litters of cats being born?
Well, I've been
Kittens
watching
being
out
born.
in my backyard, and the males are being really interested in the females and already. So
Yes.
I've had a couple of them that we caught and had spayed, so that will reduce. And they're feral, so they're just kind of running around, but at least they won't be producing babies. So
Right, right.
that's something too that we can do. So
Well, ladies, it's always fun to have you here on the show. If you want to pass the microphone back to Michelle. Michelle, very quickly again, your 3 upcoming events in the next week and a half here.
Yep, we have the Pancake Supper on March 16th from 4:30 to 7. Tickets available. We have Pet Adoption Day on March 18th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Spherion. And we have the Home and Rec Show from March 24th through March 26th at the Four Seasons.
All right, so lots of opportunities. If you're not that well acquainted with the Steele County Humane Society, lots of opportunities to do that, and a chance to help our lovely four-legged critters find their forever homes. Ladies, thank you so much for being guests on the Owatonna Today Show.
Thank you.
And please stay with us. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Tim Anderson, the owner of Anytime Fitness, where we make getting healthy affordable and convenient. Anytime Fitness is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Thanks for remaining with us. We're going to take a few minutes to talk about some community events, and we're going to start with the Lenten Speaker Series at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. The Things We Treasure is the theme for this year. And as it says in Scripture, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The next Wednesday, we'll see Reverend Koki Conkey from Associated Church as the speaker. There is a lunch afterwards at $6, which all proceeds will benefit the Steele County Free Clinic and the Crisis Resource Center. The talk itself is free. On Friday, March 17th, stop by the Hy-Vee and enjoy the Steele County Free Fair Building Fun Dinner, sponsored by the fair, and Hy-Vee Foods. Featured will be a complete dinner of baked cod, bay scallops, breaded swai, and hush puppies. The cost is $9.99 for adults and $5.99 for kids 10 and under, and all profits go to the Steele County Building Fund. That is the Fair Building Fund. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day at the History Center with the musical group Romantica on Thursday, March 17th at 7 p.m. Tickets are $15 per person for members and $20 for non-members. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Music begins at 7:30 p.m. Wine, beer, and soda cash bar available. St. Patrick's Day dinner at the Owatonna Elks Lodge, and that will be benefiting the Patient Care Fund at Homestead Hospice House. This is Saturday, March 18th, 2017, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Advance tickets $15 each, $20 at the door. Tickets available at Elks Lodge or at Kotke's, or you can reserve tickets by calling 451-1395, and that'll take care of it for today. We hope that you come back on Friday when we will have Cows Radio and the Owatonna Business Development Center on board. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you Friday.